Hello, I'm Chris, this is Gross Models, and this is Building Your Own X-Wing from DeAgostini Partworks, issue number 31. The parts we're supplied with this time, we have a large inner panel for one of the wings, 2 plant-on edge details, and another bag of screws. We'll get to the building at the end, as ever. First of all, we'll have a flick through the magazine and see what it's telling us about. We have, as always, the 3 sections: creating the fleet, which is just, stuff. Starfighter Aces, about a character that you've probably never heard of, and building the X-Wing, the actual parts and assembly. We're starting with the thrilling climax, the attack on Starkiller Base, obviously from The Force Awakens, the big planet Death Star type thing, where they attacked it, flew down a little trench, blew it up, and got away. Spoilers, sorry. We are talking about Rick Ollie. I don't know that his name was ever mentioned. He obviously piloted the Naboo Royal Starship in the first prequel film, the first film, but the 4th film, but the prequel film. Yes, there we go. That one there. He also flew one of the Naboo fighters, apparently. There we go. Right. Now, this is Red 5's wing markings. Interestingly, I never twigged until I was building this very part work that it's Red 5 because it's got 5. Like, I never twigged that there were different numbers of lines on all of the different ships. I got the colours. I always knew that, it's Red 5 because it's red, there's blue and green, and they all had different coloured markings, but I never counted, never noticed that they different numbers of red 1 has only got 1 stripe on it. It's probably just me being an idiot, but I didn't notice it. So yeah, there we go. It tells you that's why it's got them. Right, so we are building the lower port wing. We're sort of finishing it off, I think, now, almost there. So the parts we have are the lower skin, the inner edging strip and the outer edging strip, and some screws. Right, we're assembling the wing, which I have here from last time. We also need the cannon, which is too big to fit in on camera, and the parts obviously that we've just got now. Now, I'm not assembling and leaving all this assembled as it is because it's far too big. So what I'm doing is the same thing I did with the other one. I'm going to take off the cannon bit, leave that to one side with the other one. I don't know where my inner tube is for that though, because that's probably just further inside. There we go. Yeah, we'll leave that in its entirety to one side. We have the cannon itself, which now without that bit on it does sort of come apart a bit, but we won't worry about that. Obviously if I take the other end off, it will really come apart. So we'll reattach that, and this I can attach to the wing as it's going to be done this time, and leave that there, not having to worry about big sticky out thing from the rest of it. So yeah, right, so we are starting with it this way round. The outer edging strip, which is the one that looks like that, it, funnily enough, goes on the outer edge. Which way round? They can't really tell from the pictures they got there. It looks like it's that way round. Yep, definitely that way round. And this just pushes into those 3 holes along there. Got to get that end in first because that goes underneath. And then that just pushes in once you get it lined up properly. Just like that. Oh, careful not to catch the other bits. There we go, the outer edging strip. Push the pins into the 3 recess, should now look like that, which it pretty much does. Turn the page. I guess we're going to be doing the outer edging strip, but I don't like to leap ahead. No, we're not. Yes, I turned over too many pages. Oh yeah, it does. It just I'm not reading the whole thing. It says to do it down there. So we'll get the outer edging strip put in as well. That also fits with 3 recesses, and an extra recess there that the wires will go under. So lining that up with those and then just pushing it home. So that gives us the inner area of the engine decked out nicely. And yes, it looks more like that now because it's got the extra bit that I didn't look at. Right, so turning the page, if I can turn the page, we then come up to taking the laser cannon. So obviously I've got less than they show because I've just taken it off. Make sure those bits don't get caught and broken though. We're going on from the front of the wing, making sure we get the wire through the hole first. And then we've got obviously 5 holes there, 2 pins and 3 screw holes. So making sure the wire goes through all the way. Lining up the 2 pins so it goes a bit like that, and then easily turning it over because it's not got big guns sticking out the front. I can open up the bag of screws. I'm expecting 4 screws in here because it says to use 3 of them. Let's tip them out into the page. 1, 2, 3. I'll leave the other one in the bag over there safely. And we're putting these into the 3 holes there. And screwing them in. As ever, as I've said last time, and almost every time that there are screws required, it's never a good idea to tighten up the first one. Make sure you get them all in the right places and lined up properly, and then you can tighten up the last one and go back and tighten up the preceding ones when you know they're all biting in the right place. There you go. Right, then we're plugging in the wire into the socket. So you take the socket out, plug it in obviously the right way round. Like that. Popping that back where it should be. Making sure it's all sitting nicely in the grooves. Getting that bit out of the way. Well, that's not going to get squished as well. Obviously enough wire left over to not be too much of a problem. Pressing it back in the wing. It says to test it, so I have the battery. Test both ends, it says. So we've got the 2 wires. I don't know which one does which. I have got batteries in there. So let's plug in the first one and see if something lights up. Get it the right way round again. Yeah, I have light action from the engine, and then light action at the other end. Obviously all coming out the sides and everything, but not a problem from there. So yes, the wire connection is all working, that's all good. Right, then we are just popping this on. Now this isn't screwed in place, this is just wired, held in place by lots of pins. So nice and easy. Get it the right way round. Making sure you're not trapping the wires under any of it. And popping down all of the pins that hold it in place. So again, always check the wiring before you do all of this, because once you get it in, it's not coming off again in a hurry. One there that's not quite going down, there you go. Just got to squish them down a bit until they all go home. That's that. There we have it. That's the wing completed, apart from the gun coming out the front, which I say I will have, but not quite yet. There we go. That's that done. We've got some Naboo starfighters on the back. Actually, that's not quite down, but yeah, just a general bit of finding the pins and squishing them a bit more. That's better. Right, as ever, thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying the build as much as I'm enjoying building it. You know, bits of dust and stuff now. As ever, follow along. There's one more issue in this delivery which I shall be filming momentarily and then obviously releasing into the wild. I've just lost one of those. I've just noticed that. I shall find that and glue that in place. I hadn't been gluing these in place because you don't really need to, but sometimes it appears you do need to. So I'll have a rummage around, find the missing piece wherever it may be, and get that fixed for next time as well. So I shall see you soon with a repaired X-Wing and on for the next part of the build. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.